Belated Merry Christmas and an early Happy New Year, guys, from Skunkworks. Got a What's in the Shop today, but before we get started, I thought I'd make a little video talking about a few things. First of all, I'd be remiss if I didn't say thank you to everybody who has subscribed to the page and continues to follow the page, along with my Instagram pages. It's been amazing. I think this time last year I had maybe 300 followers, give or take a few. Now I have 574 as of this video today, which is really awesome. I continue to try to do my best on the videos, and I know some of my old ones aren't the greatest quality, but that's in the past, and I prefer to go onward and upward and just try to do better as I move forward. I appreciate all the new friendships I've built, and a lot of the current friendships that I have with you guys out there. I know some people I'd really like to reach out to this coming year and try to get with you. I'd like to almost do like some Zoom interviews with various creators. Maybe that's something we can make happen this coming year. Other than that, I have some stuff planned for 2022, and hopefully it all pans out the way I'd like it to. Time's an issue sometimes, but I think it's going to. I just need to figure out some things. But this infinite loop of COVID seems to be keeping me on schedule with having time to do a lot of the things that I normally wouldn't have time to do. So I guess there's a silver lining to every dark cloud. State of G.I. Joe. I know I get a lot of comments on the channel about where do I think G.I. Joe's going and what's going on with the 12-inch G.I. Joes. And, you know, I really don't know. I know that, admittedly, I had a tendency to trash the G.I. Joe Collector Club for some of what I considered to be missteps. But the longer we go down this road without the Collector Club, the more I kind of miss it. Even for all their faults, in my opinion, they did keep the, at least, adventure team dream alive, as well as they catered to the 3 3/4 inch crowd really well too. So as far as Hasbro goes, I don't have a lot of faith, to be honest with you. I read articles on the His Tank forums about Hasbro is committed to G.I. Joe moving forward. But to be honest with you guys, seeing their creative team and a lot of the social media posts that Hasbro puts out there, I have no faith in Hasbro, and I don't have any faith in the G.I. Joe line. Luckily for them, they can blame COVID and the pandemic, but at the end of the day, I really think that there's a lacking in creativity with not only Hasbro, but the majority of the toy industry. And I've seen that bleed over into film, comic books, and a lot of the other entertainment media. I just think we're in kind of like a creativity dark age, and I don't really know how to get out of it. I think Hasbro could do a way better job with G.I. Joe, and I think there's a hunger for G.I. Joe out there, not just amongst people our age with our interest in the 6 scale line of figures, but I also think that there's a definite hunger for other scales and other versions of G.I. Joe, and I just don't see them moving forward giving us anything that we really want. And there's a tendency, I think, right now at the toy industry, which really is a perfect reflection of our society, where if you criticize them, they get really upset, and they almost feel like them giving you the shit that they're giving you right now should be good enough for you, and if you don't like it, you should feel lucky that they're even doing anything. It's not a way to treat your customers or your fan base, and I feel right now from Hasbro that's what we're getting. So that's all I'll say about that. I don't have a lot of faith in G.I. Joe, but I really think that our community is strong and it's growing, and as long as we have all these boutique toy companies and companies like Cotswold Collectibles to promote and carry that merchandise, I think we're going to be fine in 2022 and moving forward. I think the only thing that's going to hold us back is our age, because we're all getting up there in age. So no faith in Hasbro. Mattel's doing a great job with their Masters of the Universe toys, even though their cartoon sucks in my opinion. But Mattel seems to have at least a handle on what's going on. I think Hasbro has been living off the tit of the Marvel and Star Wars franchises for too long, and they've kind of lost their direction on G.I. Joe, which is one of their flagship brands that put them on the map. So I don't really know where Hasbro's going, but I just don't think it's going anywhere good. Man, I've got a lot of people on social media that I follow, and I wish I could talk about all of them, but I know that over the past year or so, a lot of great channels have popped up on YouTube. Some have told me they're inspired by me, others have just popped up that I started following, and others are way older than my channel that I follow. But there's a lot of great ones. Of course, I mention them all the time. G.I. Joe The Lost Chronicles. Adam, I don't know how you manage to put out as many photo stories as you do that are as great a quality as what they are, but I really look forward to what you're going to do in 2022. You and I have built a really nice friendship over texting and emailing, and it's great, and I really appreciate that. So I really look forward to seeing what you're going to do, and I hope we can do a collaboration this year. G.I. Joe, Elite Action Joe, those guys are great too. Love to follow them. They're just so real, and it's really neat to see how they interact with each other, and you guys are doing a great job as well, and I can't wait to see what you guys come up with this year, and I hope soon to reach out to you guys and build a good relationship with you as well that's outside of YouTube. I'm trying to put everything on a list that I need to do and get to it after the first of the year, and you guys and G.I. Joe Elite Action Joe, I'm really looking forward to that as well. Logic Blaster is a channel, again, like the Lost Chronicles. You manage to just keep churning out videos, and I really appreciate it because some of the reviews are toys that I actually have, and it brings back memories for me, and I'm really excited to see how you do these reviews. We've reviewed some of the same figures and have some of the same feelings on them. But man, you churn those videos out too, and I really admire that. Cotswold Collectibles. I don't know if you guys watch my channel. I used to have a pretty good interaction with Greg on Facebook before I left that platform. He used to do the newsletter, and they'd have like a figure of the week or whatever where they'd show a custom, and I used to get a custom figure on there every once in a while. And they stopped doing that in their newsletter, and I don't know why. But I do my best to promote Cotswold because they are I guess, the last soldier at the gate right now, keeping our hobby alive. So I really think everybody who does the G.I. Joe 1/6 scale community, you ought to be supporting Cotswold by buying product from them. And I know some of you guys out there who live in other countries, I know it's difficult with your duty taxes and some of the international shipping laws and whatnot to support Cotswold, and I get it. But us guys here at home, obviously we should be supporting Cotswold by doing our best to buy product from them. I try to buy something from them a few times a year, so definitely keep Cotswold in mind. They have a YouTube page. It's growing. I try to promote it as much as I can. So Cotswold, if you're watching, guys, I'm trying to help you out as much as I can. So I hope you guys have a good 2022 as well. Some of the other sites that I follow, Matt's Creative Customs. Matt, out there in the Pacific Northwest, you're one of the most creative guys that I watch on YouTube and Instagram. The amount of things that you're able to make is really, really interesting, and you think outside the box, kind of like me, and a lot of stuff, more than me, and I really enjoy your page as well, so thank you for that. Toy With It has his own YouTube page as well. If you follow him on Instagram, then you see all the amazing photos he takes. They are awesome. One of the most cool sites that I follow on Instagram. I look forward to his photo every week. He has a YouTube page which shows behind the scenes how he does it. An amazing photographer. So give Toy With It a follow if you haven't followed them as well. Plaid Stallions was a great follow. That guy does an awesome job. I'd like to get one of his magazines sometimes, but I love following him on Instagram and YouTube. Of course, Analog Toys. Tony's great. He's a very honest person. He is very, very critical of some of the shenanigans of the toy industry, as he should be. Retro Blasting's really good site to follow. I also really enjoy Toy Polloi when I need to repair something. It's great, as well as Tinker Toy Tim. And finally, I follow Bobby Valla on all his social media platforms that I have, and I also follow Valaverse. Now, I'm not a collector of the 6-inch scale figures. I think his figures are amazing. I think they're the best military-themed figures out there that are in the, I guess, what would it be, 1/12 scale. So I think Bobby Valla, if you're into that kind of stuff, check out his toy line. I think it's going to be a really big toy line. And he's also another guy who's really honest about the toy industry, having worked for Hasbro. So all those guys you should check out and give a follow to. I'll try to post links in the description. Toy sites that I follow, mainly on Instagram. I do follow Hasbro and Hasbro Pulse. Because some days I just need to be infuriated about something. Four Horsemen Studios, as you'll see in my What's in the Shop coming up after this intro video. Love Four Horsemen Studios, and the stuff that they're doing with their Mythic Legions is out of this world. Fresh Monkey Fiction's great. Boss Fight Studios also great. Super 7's good. I know a lot of people shit on them, and rightfully so. They're a little goofy sometimes, but I do have some of their figures, and I think they're good figures. Nika, I know I've not been impressed with the quality of some of their figures, if you've seen in my reviews, but I do think Nika's really, really cool. A really, really cool toy company. Of course, Valaverse. Captain Cosmos is also great. Cotswold carries them. They make a lot of really cool outfits for our 1/6 scale hobby. And Action Wolfpack. Action Man Wolfpack is a great thing to follow. I don't own any of their gear. Cotswold carries a little bit of it. I follow them on Instagram, and man, they got some really cool stuff. So maybe I'll be able to add some of that to my collections this year. Halloween was a while back, but you're going to see some Halloween stuff that I have in this coming What's in the Shop. And there's 3 movies that I like to watch every year on Halloween, obviously. I love The Monster Squad, The Gate, and I love The Explorers with River Phoenix and Ethan Hawke, and I can't remember the other kid's name. Those are all great movies. I've tried to introduce my wife, who's quite a bit younger than me, to some of these older movies. Some she likes and some she doesn't. And another movie that I think is really, really cool is Sky Captain in the World of Tomorrow. That is a really cool movie. It was all filmed, I believe, on blue screen and with computer graphics. So I don't know if you guys are a fan of that. I'd like to know what you think of that movie, but it's really pulp cool. I've been watching some really good series on TV. I've enjoyed The Witcher. I don't read the books or never played the video game. It's hard for me to follow the series, but I think it's okay. I really enjoyed The Wheel of Time on Amazon. Again, I never read the books. I know that the guys from Lead Action Joe love to read. I love to read as well. I don't read a lot of fantasy novels. I read some, but I read more historical fiction, and I read a lot of horror novels. So, but I've never read The Wheel of Time or the Witcher series, but I'm sure they're really good. I've heard positive things about it, but I enjoy both those TV series. Castlevania on Netflix. Now, I was a big Castlevania fan when I was a kid. That is a great TV series. I just finished up season 3. I think that might be it, but man, if you're interested in something cool, Castlevania is really, really awesome. So that's about it. That's about all the stuff I wanted to go over before we get to this What's in the Shop. I had some stuff written down, but I'll probably save it to throw in the What's in the Shop coming up. So, guys, without further ado, we'll go back to the shop, and I have a ton of stuff to share with you this time around. What's up, guys? It's time for another What's in the Shop. As you can see, I've got a lot of stuff to share today. Got some old, got some new, got some things you've probably never seen before. and I have some future projects that I want to share as well. So without further ado, let's get cracking. All right, guys, so first things first, I want to share some items from Halloween. This is a mask called the Super Space Wizard and the Creeper Hands from Rock Bottom Novelties. Now, you've heard me probably talk about Rock Bottom Novelties in a few of my What's in the Shops. Well, I acquired this mask and hand set prior to Halloween with the intent on wearing it with my wizard outfit. You probably saw my Wizard of Candy post on my YouTube channel. So this is where the mask came from. Rock Bottom Novelties is a really, really cool latex mask manufacturer. They're pretty affordable. It's like a subsidiary of the Devil's Workshop. It's I think him and some other guys partnered together to go in and make a little bit of a cheaper version of the masks that he makes. But it's sculpted by Skinner, who's an amazing artist from Oakland, California. And luckily, I was able to get one of these and add it to my Halloween collection. It's a great mask. The gloves are really cool, too. The only downside, if you've ever worn latex masks, is you get super hot when you wear them for an extended period of time. So I had pretty sweaty hands and a pretty sweaty face by the end of Trick or Treat. Now, if you saw the picture before this, Rock Bottom Novelties gave out some awards for the pictures taken with their masks on Instagram, and my son and I were lucky enough to win the Golden Skolo. I think 5 people won one, and we were fortunate enough to become one of these. So I was super excited to get a Golden Skolo to put on my desk. I plan on buying a few more masks from these guys over the next few years and hopefully incorporating them into my Halloween. So check out Rock Bottom Novelties if you're interested in masks like this or love horror. You can support their business. They're great. They're just a great follow on Instagram. And obviously, winning the Golden Skolo has solidified my commitment to being a Rock Bottom Novelties fan moving forward. So yeah, this is a great product. I was really happy to buy this and incorporate it into Halloween. And I was even happier when I won an award. So there's that. The Super Space Wizard by Skinner and Rock Bottom Novelties. Speaking of Skinner, so I've probably mentioned a few times that I'm a huge horror fan. I have a lot of horror comics. I love horror movies. So when Skinner did a Kickstarter for his own horror-themed comic magazine, it was a no-brainer for me to go ahead and support the Kickstarter for this Skin Crawl magazine. It's a really, really cool magazine done by him. If you're not familiar with him, he's done album covers for bands like Mastodon, High on Fire. He does a lot of art. He's a great follow on Instagram. He's a wild guy. I mean, the thing about him and me, like, we don't have anything in common. Like, we are probably on the opposite ends of everything. But I don't care about stuff like that. I supported his magazine, and I think he's amazing. But it's a really cool magazine. It has a lot of great stories in it, and I was really happy with the purchase. By doing the Kickstarter, I got a cool glow-in-the-dark demon type print, and then I got all these cool stickers you can see here, and I got a couple enamel pins. He's got this signature hand that appears throughout the magazine. It's almost like the creeper from the Creep Show, but I think he's called Rolly, and it's really, really cool. I was really, there's the hand. I'd love to have a latex version of that, but he's got ads in it. It's just almost like an old throwback magazine, you know, and it's just so cool to get something like this and just, you know, enjoy it. It's got advertisements for Rock Bottom Novelties in the back, of course, and So cool. So I was really happy with this. It's a cool thing for me. Like I said, he's a great follow on Instagram. He's a wild guy, but this is a cool one here. Something really cool that I wanted to add to my collection. So, the wild thing is someday when my little boy, Ollie, is older, and when I pass on into Valhalla or wherever I go, he's gonna end up with some wild stuff. He's gonna be like, Jesus, my dad was into some stuff. So I wanted to share this with you guys. I've been holding on to this for a while, so I was looking forward to doing this What's in the Shop. So Skin Crawl Magazine by The Art of Skinner. He's getting ready to do a second issue. I'll probably get it too. So hope you guys enjoyed that share. Okay, briefly, my wife actually got this for me for Christmas. I was looking at it for a long time at Joann Fabrics and never pulled the trigger on it. Had it bookmarked on Amazon, and she remembered that I liked this book and bought it for me. This is cool. Now, a lot of people wonder where I get all my ideas for a lot of the stuff that I make. I get it off of just certain things I follow, and then I kind of just figure it out as I go along. But this is a really cool book, and the fact that it goes through and gives you a really detailed step-by-step of how to make props for Halloween. It is really, really cool. And I looked at it and I'm like, man, I would love to have a book like this to just help me, get over the hump on some issues with building props that I've been having. So I'm really, really excited to get to work on building some more Halloween stuff for next year. So this is a cool book, How to Haunt Your House. You can find it on Amazon. I think it retails for about $24. I think the price is on the back, maybe. Yeah, $24.99. You can probably find it cheaper, but it's a really cool book, so I thought I wanted to share that with you. And a cool person to follow, if you guys are familiar with Christine McConnell, she might be one of the most talented people I've ever seen. She had a Netflix series, I think in 2018, that was on for one season, and they canceled it probably because the series was too good. And you know how Netflix is, when something's too good, they just cancel it. So she's also on Instagram. She has a YouTube channel too. I'll try to maybe throw her link in the comments. She has a Patreon page where she does a lot of her stuff, but she's ultra, ultra talented. So definitely give her a check out. Okay, some comics, some books that I've been reading or want to recommend. So, full disclosure, I'm a humongous Hellboy fan. I've been reading Hellboy since day one. I thought the movies were garbage, but I am a huge Hellboy fan of the comic. And I'm actually a giant Mike Mignola fan, the artist and creator of Hellboy, even though, during the last year's election, he posted some crazy stuff. And, I try to ignore that. I understand that a lot of these artists are passionate about certain things, and I try to ignore wacky shit that they post. So, Mike, if you're out there, I don't take all your wacky shit serious, or I don't take it personal, I guess. But he is one of the best artists, a modern-day Jack Kirby, one of the best storytellers around. So the Silver Lantern Club, this is issue number 2. For some reason, I didn't get issue number 1 at my comic book store, so hopefully I get issue 1 so I can start reading these. But I'm sure it's really, really good. But The Bones of Giants is a comic book adaptation of a book that Mike Mignola and Christopher Golden did probably about 10 or 12 years ago. It has to deal with Thor and Thor's hammer in Norse mythology. It's a great book, and I'm sure the comic book will be awesome as well. I don't know if I've covered this Keanu Reeves joint, but I call it Berserker from Boom Studios. It's about an immortal warrior who's lived since the dawn of time. And it's a really, really good story. It features the art of Ron Garney. If you're not familiar with Ron Garney, he did an amazing job on Captain America back in the early 2000s, as well as the Hulk. He's an amazing artist, and this is a fantastic comic. So I think right now it's on issue 7. So it's just great. The art in it is fantastic and and gory. So yeah, it's awesome. Check this out if you're interested. Now back to Mike Mignola. So him and Christopher Golden several years ago, started writing novels, original novels. And the first one was called Lord Baltimore, and I think it's called Baltimore, The Steadfast Tin Soldier, maybe. It's a vampire novel. It's one of the best modern horror novels, I think, in my opinion, short story novels. So together with Baltimore, they created this Tales from the Outerverse. So they developed characters, almost a new universe of horror characters. And Lady Baltimore, who takes over for Lord Baltimore in the original novel, this is her comic, very, very good. It's very feminist centered, because that's kind of, it seems to be the trend now. We gotta have to have strong female characters, but there's nothing wrong with that. I think it's great. She is a great, strong female character, so it's a great comic. There's also The Golem Walks Among Us, which is an offshoot of Joe Golem, which is another great Christopher Golden and Mike Mignola original novel. If you're into the Golem lore, when I went to Prague, Czechoslovakia, I got pretty immersed in the story of the Golem of Prague. This is a Czechoslovakian golem, so it's a really good story. House of Lost Horizons is another female-centered comic with an investigative team which investigates supernatural mysteries. It's based in the Hellboy universe, and it's actually a really good comic, really, really well written. Kojak the Skinner, yet another strong female character, and also in the Tales of the Outerverse, so she belongs to the Joe Golem Baltimore universe. And Imogene the Weirding Way is another really good, strong female sorcerer comic from the Tales in the Outerverse. So you can look all these titles up, as the other Golem Walks Among Us, and check them all out. I think that's kind of the move now with the comic book industry. It's going pretty female hero heavy, so it's just a trend. And there's a lot of really good stories, and there's also a lot of garbage stories. But you can say the same thing about all the male-dominated comics as well. So great comics, check them out. I'm a huge fan of Dark Horse Comics. I think it's the best publisher right now when it comes to comic book titles and original stories. Marvel, in my opinion, and DC are both garbage. So, anyways. So, this is a novel from 2012 called Breed. It's one of my favorite horror novels. And not to give the story away, but it's about genetic engineering children using animal DNA. It's an amazing book. It's a great read. It's a quick read. It's not a long book at all. But it has, if you follow CRISPR and some of the modern gene editing stories we're starting to see pop through on the internet, it kind of hits close to home, So there's a sequel to it, but it's in it's only can be found in foreign editions. So I'm not sure what the heck's going on with that. I think there could be an Amazon Kindle edition, but I don't like reading on a Kindle. I'm a hardback reader. So anyways, Breed by Chase Novak. If you're a fan of horror, it's great. Now, this here, the One World Tartarians. So I've been completely enamored with Tartaria. If you guys aren't familiar with it, look it up. I've listened to a lot of podcasts on it. I listen to a shitload of conspiracy theorist podcasts because I think they're entertaining. Some of it's true. I was like what was the meme I used to see? Or I've seen it recently. The difference between the conspiracy theory and the truth is 6 months. Well, I listened to a couple really good podcasts on this, on Tartaria. A couple of guys who really, really went on a deep dive into it. We're in negotiations with the History Channel to do a series, and also in negotiations with Netflix. Now, that means nothing because History Channel does Ancient Aliens, and I think a lot of that's bullshit. But I find Tartaria fascinating in a lot of ways, so I would definitely check that out. But I bought this book for my dad. My dad, he's a giant archaeology fan, giant science fan. He's an aerospace engineer. He's a walking conundrum. He believes in Bigfoot. Him and my sister and my brother, one of my brothers, believe in Bigfoot wholeheartedly. They've watched The Missing 411. They just believe all that stuff. But my dad doesn't. My dad doesn't believe in UFOs at all. So I don't know. You know, we're not all the same. But my my dad read this book, or part of it, and he gave it to me, and he he wrote this post-it note. So I wanted to read this to you guys. It says, I'll read it real quick. I won't even show it to you. It says, James Lee is one fucked up individual. This book is pure bullshit. The only good thing about it is the pictures. It wasn't worth the $38 that it costs. I wonder how many people were dumb enough to buy a copy. Obviously I did. So my dad gave it back to me. So needless to say, he's not a big fan of Tartaria. So anyways, I wanted to share that with you guys too. It's an interesting theory. So there you go. All right, Masters of the Universe fans, I was at Target the other day, and I managed to find one of these, the Battle Armor He-Man and Battle Cat exclusive that they originally debuted at PowerCon. Haven't taken it out of the package yet. Probably will soon. My son actually has discovered his favorite He-Man character is Skeletor, which worries me. So he has a Skeletor and a Panther up in his room right now. So he's clearly leaning towards villains. I don't know what that means, but I probably better get some bail money ready for when he gets older. But this is a really cool figure. It comes with 2 different head sculpts of He-Man, some little gargoyles that hang off Castle Grayskull, exclusive battle damage Battle Cat, chrome armor. The box art's awesome. I follow the guy that does the box art for Mattel on Instagram, so I kind of knew this was coming. But really, really cool on the back. This is a PowerCon exclusive Fakor and his Battle Cat, and just really cool. It gives the places to hang the gargoyles. So I really thought this was a cool thing to get. I'm not really big into chasing exclusives. If it wouldn't have been available the day I went to Target, probably would have never bought it. So there you go, the Battlefield Warriors edition of Battle Armor He-Man and Battle Cat. Okay, so as of this video, we finally managed to blow the gears out of our Evel Knievel stunt cycle. It took a few months of rough play from a 3-year-old, but we managed to blow it out. So Black Friday rolled around. They had a great deal on stunt cycles, so I bought us a brand new Evel Knievel stunt cycle to play with. We bought the black edition, and they had a really good deal, and so I managed to go ahead and also let me buy the special collector edition Evel Knievel as well. I'll probably do a review of this at some point in time. So I'm going to save this for him. This is from apparently a jump he made. Ascot Park, Gardena, California. I'm not sure if that was one of his new jumps or his original jumps. Don't know a lot about the history of Evel Knievel other than what I've seen on TV. So I thought this was really cool. I went ahead and bought it just to have it. It's really, really cool bike. It's got the cool long tailpipes, reminiscent of the old Evel Knievel stunt cycle. So we went ahead and got us one of these anniversary editions, and we got us a brand new bike to play with. I also, in the Black Friday edition of all this, if you bought like 2 bikes, you got a free set of ramps and a free set of buses to jump over, the cardboard buses. So we did all that. We just went balls deep and bought it all. So really excited to have this stuff in our collection. We plan on doing a shitload of Evel Knievel jumps in 2022. All right, so a couple weeks before Christmas, I was on Instagram screwing around. I think it's pretty apparent by now. I spend a lot of time just looking at stuff on Instagram. I enjoy photos. But Four Horsemen Studios pulled me in, caught me with a fishing line. They came out with a pop-up exclusive Krampus figure as part of their Mythic Legions line. I'm going to do a review on this guy at some point as well, but I had to have this. So I'm a big Krampus fan, full disclosure. Krampus Day is actually my birthday. This is a really cool box art and packaging. You got the set. I think it was like $100. You got the figure with the collector edition box. A really cool enamel pin, a stack of these holiday cards, which I thought were really, really great, and a cool mug. So I'm so happy I bought this. Now, apparently they're going to do a retail, direct-to-retail version of this, a little bit different than the one here at some point this year. But I think every year they're going to do a special edition Krampus. So if you're a fan of Krampus, this is for you. I live probably an hour and 45 minutes, an hour and a half away from Bloomington, Indiana, as the crow flies. And for the last 10 years, they did a Krampus parade. It was one of the largest ones in the United States, I believe. And we went to it several years ago, my wife and I. We wanted to take our son there this year, but as sketch as everything is with people, with, you know, not to go into details, but we just probably wouldn't have been able to go. So we didn't go this year, and it would have been late anyway. We would have had to drive home at night, and I don't really like driving at night anymore as I get older. So we just set this out, and sadly, it was the last year they're going to do it. So at least we went once. So I'm a huge Krampus fan, and I figured you guys would enjoy this Krampus figure by Four Horsemen Studios. Check them out. I'll post a link to their website. Their Mythic Legions series of figures is just an awesome, awesome concept. So definitely give Four Horsemen Studios a check out, and I hope you really enjoyed this Krampus figure. Okay, so a few figures that I recently acquired. Back during Toy Fair last summer, Nika Toys announced this tribute to the old Filmation Flash Gordon series. So I went ahead and bought one of these to have it. It's really, really cool. It's called the King's Features Flash Gordon. You can see on the back, it was him and Ming Merciless, which looks a lot like the old Mattel figures that we used to see back in the late 70s. I think I might have had a Flash Gordon. I can't remember. I do remember Flash Gordon ship, this inflatable rocket ship that came with that old Mattel. But this is done in the homage to the Mattel line, and I thought this was really cool. So I wanted to share that with you guys. Just looking at him in the package, he already looks a lot better made than the Defenders of the Earth Flash Gordon that I recently did a review of. Speaking of retro stuff, here is the He-Man with the almost original head sculpt. Now, Mattel, in their infinite wisdom, decided to come out with a brand new head sculpt on the original He-Man Origins, and then later on they hit us with this. So, brilliant marketing campaign to get me to buy 2 He-Man figures, Mattel. I went ahead and got this on clearance at Amazon. It was on, I think, a Prime Day deal. I got it for $8, free shipping. So I ordered this guy, and so now Ollie and I have an original He-Man to play with. So I was excited to have him. I don't mind the new head sculpt, but God, you gotta love the original He-Man head sculpt. Also, Mattel and Hot Wheels has given us a brand new Batmobile from the new movie coming up. And I gotta admit, this is one of the coolest Batmobiles that I've ever seen. I am a sucker for this Batmobile. I'm not a big fan of all the other Batmobiles from the movies, but this looks really cool. It's retro. It reminds me a lot of the Paul Pope Batman miniseries several years ago at DC Comics called Batman Year 100. Check that out. It's a great Batman comic. This is a cool Batmobile, and I've seen a lot of people shit on this Batmobile, which, whatever, it's your opinion, but I think it's a great Batmobile. So we picked this up. At the time of this video, it's already been taken out of the package, and it does great on Hot Wheel tracks. So this is a cool Batmobile. And also, I have a review of the Power Lords figures coming up. Actually, Atom Power. And I just acquired a Lord Power. I found him on eBay for an insanely dumb price, and I couldn't resist it. So I picked this one up. So at the time of the review of the Atom Power that you'll see here in a few weeks, I did not have this figure. I'll do a review of him at some point as well. So these are also by Four Horsemen Studios. They did these several years ago, and I missed out on them. I just recently picked up these 2 figures because I had the original Revell figure. So those are some new action figures that I've picked up for my me and my son's collection. Okay, so here's a figure that I wanted to share with you guys. I finally got my Mezco 1/12 Conan figure. Holy smokes. I'm going to do a review of this. I've taken him out of the package and looked at him. I'll try to get a better picture of him so you don't get the glare. It's hard because the plastic wrap on him. I won't take him out for this video because I'm just going to do a separate review of him. But get online and look at this figure. Find images of it. It's super awesome. The packaging's great. This is probably one of the best action figures that I own now. It's overwhelming the amount of accessories that come with this thing. So I'll be doing a review of this here soon in 2022, but I wanted to share with you that I finally got this figure. It's very, very character accurate to the old Robert E. Howard stories. It's just amazing. Love having this figure, and I can't wait. I might actually have to do a photo story with him. So the Conan the Barbarian 1/12 Mezco figure is the shizzle. All right, who remembers Big Track? So when we were kids, me and my brothers, we had a Big Track. My mom and dad got it at Radio Shack. We played with it until I think it fell apart. And didn't have one for a long time. Well, I was at a garage sale 15 years ago, and I found this, and I got it for like $1. And I didn't know if it worked, and I took it home, and I let it sit in a box for a long time, and got it out one day. It did work, but the trailer portion did not. So I took it all apart recently, got it working again, fixed the wire that was loose, had to glue some pieces, and this Big Track works again. I actually ordered a user's manual because it didn't have one off the internet for it, and I had to fix a few little things, but I have a complete Big Track, and hopefully in 2022 I can incorporate this into an Adventure Team story. I believe this is made by Milton Bradley, which was later bought out by Hasbro. With this, the Big Track has a definite Adventure Team, almost a Super Joe feel to it. So I love having a Big Track, and I know a lot of you guys out there had one of these or are very familiar with it. So I love Big Track. So I just wanted to share that with you, that my vintage Big Track is back in action. Okay, so if you ever notice on my videos I do of myself, you can always see an Armatron behind me. Well, I have two of these. I was over at my mom and dad's recently, and I found our second Armatron. So I brought it home. It does not work. My other one does. So my goal in 2022 is to take this thing apart and get it working again. Let's take the box off. We had two of these. When you grow up in a family of 4 boys and a girl, you have a lot of crazy toys. Christmas time was always a big time for us because that's about the only time we ever got toys. So still have our Armatron. It's got some tubes that need fixed, but I'm going to take this thing apart. I found a cool video on YouTube on how to fix these. So just wanted to share this with you. Hopefully I can also incorporate this Armatron into an Adventure Team story in 2022 as well. We'll see what happens. Okay, so for my birthday this year, my dad got me this super cool German splitting axe. Now, we cut firewood actually. That's how we supplement heat our house here. Been cutting firewood probably ever since I was 14. I've been doing firewood stuff, splitting whatnot, since I was probably about 10. But my dad recently got me this cool German splitting axe by Helico Work. They make a lot of different axes. It's a really cool thing. It's a beautiful axe. I'm scared to use it, but my dad told me it's for splitting wood, so you need to use it. So I'm chomping at the bit to get out there and try this thing out. I'm really excited to have this axe, but we do a lot of wood cutting. Me and my older brother Matt, we both cut together and split together and stuff. So we cut all winter and split in the spring, and then don't do anything in the summer. So a couple of years ago, in fact, I have a wood burning insert, and I had a chimney fire, and then we got really lucky. So I had a brand new liner put in my chimney, so we dodged a bullet that year. And then, of course, a month later, COVID starts happening. So I guess we didn't dodge a bullet. I don't know, but anyway, I just wanted to share this axe with you guys in case there's any outdoorsmen out there. So just to let you guys know, the beard that I have isn't for show. I'm not one of those hipster guys, as some people like to call me. I might wear Vans shoes from time to time, but I can do manual labor. My dad also got me and all my brothers this knife. I'm not a knife person per se. I always carry a knife on me because you always need one. But for some reason, he got us these cool knives. These are probably illegal in some states, I would imagine, or in some cities at least. But I thought that's a cool knife. It's neat to have. Who knows, man? Maybe when the apocalypse happens, this will come in handy for me. So just a couple little knickknacks I wanted to share with you guys in case you're interested in something other than toys and collectibles. All right, on to some exciting stuff. Finally, some G.I. Joe stuffs. I know there's one of you guys out there saying that. So first off, I wanted to share, I have a lot of stuff I've been working on in my downtime. I've been working on these boxes. I had several of these that I bought at Hobby Lobby, and I recently, over the last couple months, have started putting these together and making these Aqua Chests. I plan on having these for sale sometime in the near future. I made several different colors, and each Aqua Chest is going to come with some trunks. I've got a lot of trunks made using different fabrics. We'll put these out here. I've got some vintage tanks that I've repaired and put my personal decals. So the orange tanks will come with an orange box. You get a custom weight belt that I just made. I think you guys will like these. Like I said, I've got other scuba tanks that I'm going to be selling, all in sets. So I also finished up this cool dive tank. I stick built this harness and then made this. It's kind of like an homage to the Action Man dive tank. And I'll be selling my sea sled that I made out of the Buzz Lightyear wings. Now the problem I ran into, I didn't really think this over, I was going to sell all these as a set, but the sea sled doesn't fit in the Aqua Chest. I do not believe. I know it doesn't. So I don't know what I'll do with that. But anyways, I'm going to add, I think, a set of black trunks and some flippers. The only downside is I don't have any dive masks. I might have like one or two orange ones, but I got some Action Man flippers I'll clean up. So I'm going to have all different dive sets available for sale at some point in time over the next few months. As to when, I'm not really sure yet. I'm hoping by maybe February or March I can get the rest of my stuff done. And I'll do a YouTube short video letting you know. So be on the lookout for that. This is cool. This is my Muscle Body Sea Adventure. My mom recently made this cool shirt for me. It goes well with these orange trunks she made. So I just wanted to share this with you. I think it's a cool little outfit for my Sea Adventure. This is actually the Muscle Body I restored for the Muscle Body full restoration. If you check out my old YouTube videos, I did the knees and the ankles. So yeah, I just wanted to share this cool shirt my mom made. We might make a few of those this coming year to sell. So this is the big announcement. I've been working with my mom again. I bought some canvas fabric, and we started trying to sew a dive suit. So we took an old G.I. Joe vintage dive suit apart, made a pattern, and then sewed a new one. We need to get some things changed on it, but this is a prototype, and you can see this is the dive weight that'll come with it. So my plan right now is to get a couple of these boxes and make a couple dive sets that fit in the box to sell. So you'll get the helmet, chest weights, and a complete dive outfit. I have a lot of extra parts, so I might do that at some point. I don't know when, but when I do get it done, you guys will be the first to know through the YouTube video. So this is a lot of stuff I've been working on, trying to get it all ironed out, fixing pieces, decaling them in order to come up with some cool sets. Just one-of-a-kind sets for somebody who'd be interested in them, just throwing them on eBay for bids. So I just wanted to show that to you. I think the dive suit's going to be really cool, and I also think the Aqua Chests with the gear is going to be cool as well. This won't be for sale. This is just my own outfit for my sea adventure. You know, I kind of feel like 8-year-old me had his mom sew him some clothes, so it's kind of funny. So there you go. That's going on. That's what's going on this front. I've been wanting to share this for a while, but I wanted to make sure, excuse me, we got the dive suit done first, the prototype. So be on the lookout for this stuff in 2022. Okay, another thing I wanted to share with you guys. If you remember in one of my videos, I talked about all the ATVs I got in that old lot I bought at auction. Well, I finally fixed one up, the Sears exclusive one, and I used my decaling technique and made myself custom decals for it. So I wanted to share that with you guys. I think the decals turned out excellent. I got one rail. I couldn't find my other rail. But I think this turned out great. So this is the Sandbox font. Obviously, I think you can find a font on Microsoft similar to this, and you can make your own decals using the decal technique I did. Again, this is also just printed on my printer and put on with Mod Podge. So yeah, this turned out great. I'm really happy with the way this looks. So yeah, just wanted to share that with you, that I decaled one of my vehicles in a vintage style. So I thought it turned out great. Okay, I managed to finish up some fuel cans and some map table bases for the coming year. So you can be on the lookout for those. I had some extra cans, so I made a all-purpose tall boy with fuel can. I did some Seawolf submarine cans as well in this all-purpose fuel can and motor oil. I actually did a new decal on the back using the old, or the most recent 1970s decal in black and white. So I did those on all those. I got a couple more cans that I'm getting ready to finish up with a project that I want to show you next. So let me go ahead and put these here, and then I'll just grab the project I want to show you next. Okay, we're ready for the big reveal. So, I just recently finished up another one-of-a-kind Yeti or albino Sasquatch, whatever you want to call it. I did this a little differently than my original one, and I think he turned out awesome. He's a lot more posable. Sculpted the hands. I still got to do some touch-up paint on it. Sculpted the feet. He's a little bit smaller than my original Wildman, a Kathmandu figure, but I think this guy turned out amazing. I used some different techniques on him, and I'm really, really happy with the way this guy turned out. I'm getting ready to redo the midsection fur on my Wildman, a Kathmandu, as well as upgrade his head fur a little bit. So I'm going to kind of change him around a little bit. So I have 2 of these done. Now what my plan is right now, as we sit here, my plan is to make a couple G.I. Joe Search for the Yeti sets. And I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'd like to do a fuel drum, an oil can, an equipment chest, possibly a ATV, I don't know. Or I just sell these separately. I am going to sell both of these. And a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, why would you sell these? Well, I did a photo story with him already. I'm going to do a photo story with him hopefully this year. The reason being is I can make these for myself. And it's nice to have these, but I also know that a lot of guys out there don't know how or aren't willing or don't have the time to make something like this. And it's great for my collection, but I also know that other people would like to have them for their collection. So I think at some point in time this year I will sell both of these. They won't be cheap because it does take me a long time to make these. And these are nice figures. I mean, they're not garbage. So, but I have at least 4 more figures that I want to make this year. I do want to still do a Bigfoot. I want to do a skunk ape. I want to do a bog monster, a Wendigo, and a space monster. So whether I get all those done this year or not, I have no idea. But I do have plans to do a Yeti set. So I've got the layout for how I want to do it. So I just need to get time to do that, and hopefully I can do that here at the first quarter of 2022. So I did want to share more than anything with you guys this Yeti. He's posable, a lot more posable than this guy. This guy's almost like a maquette. This guy's posable. I mean, you can bend his arms, and it's very cool. It's a very cool figure. I was really happy how the face turned out more than anything. Yep. If you're going to be interested in a Yeti or an albino Bigfoot type figure, then it's going to be your lucky day. So be on the lookout for these as well. Okay, so I think the guys at Elite Action Joe already covered this, but I'm going to go ahead and cover it again. Adam from G.I. Joe The Lost Chronicles sent me this a few months back. It's a concept of an adventure team mission table that he came up with. I think it's a great concept. It's brilliant. This is, of course, a prototype. He hasn't worked out all the features of it or anything, but I think it's awesome. It's a great reuse of something. I do this all the time with my fuel cans, and the fact that he came up with this is really cool as well. I mean, a table like this has so many options. I'm assuming that this was originally clear. I mean, you could paint this with a translucent blue. You could decal a stencil on a globe and have like a globe that lights up. And there's so many options for him to do on something like this. And the sky's the limit. And it's really cool that Adam came up with this and sent me one of these as well. So I might modify this at some point and use it for one of my photo stories. And Adam, you're out there. I know I've already told you this, but I really appreciate it. And I love your concept. And I think it's super dope. So keep coming up with stuff, man, because your photo stories are rad. So the multi-use platforms, Adam has one. I sold one on eBay. I think it went for $18, which is okay. I've got a few more I want to finish this year to try to put on eBay to sell. So if you guys are interested in one of these, I'm still working out some kinks to finish these and make them a little better than what they are. So it didn't really go the way I wanted it to. They didn't sell like I thought they would, and that's okay. Not everything can be a hit, right? So I'm still working out some kinks, but I was at Hobby Lobby the other day, and I found this on clearance. It's this wooden spring. It was in the spring section. It was on sale, like 50% off. I bought one. So I'm going to turn this into a helipad. This is a pretty cool all-wood deal. You could prime it, paint it, and decal it. So I'm going to do one of these, probably a video for this in 2022. So like I said, I think this is a great concept. It didn't take off like I really wanted it to with people, which is okay. That never bothers me. I just try to do better the next time. So hopefully we get this all ironed out and we see some multi-use platforms in 2022 that are desirable and a little better than this one. All right, so I got this guy here. Ignore his PP. I've been thinking of what I want to do with this guy. And let me find a neck post. Here we go. So I had this figure that I had for original project, which I screwed up. So I just threw him in the junk pile. Then I started looking at him one day, and I modified his head to take a neck post. So I might end up, you're able to take these figures apart. I might end up taking this guy apart, modifying him, and making a brand new Creature of Doom Lagoon at some point this year. It's going to be a pretty invasive project, so I don't know if I will get it done this year, but I think that's what I want to do with this guy. This plastic is a lot more easy to paint than the G.I. Joe, old G.I. Joe bodies, so I think I will try to do something with this guy. So I just wanted to show that to you guys, that I have maybe a new sea creature in the works, so be on the lookout for that as well in 2022, hopefully. All right, lastly, a few things. First thing, I want to clear something up. I've had a few people email me and comment or reach out and ask me if I got the idea for Steel Dragon from the Cotswold figure Dr. Komodo. The answer is no. Steel Dragon predates Dr. Komodo by a couple years, actually. I came up with this figure several years ago. I debuted him on my G.I. Joe, one of the G.I. Joe forums on Facebook. It's when Ben from Prometheum Rising first started making these arms. I bought one off of him and came up with the concept of Steel Dragon and gave him this Komodo dragon, and I got the chain at Hobby Lobby. I made this guy a long, long time ago, so no, I did not steal this idea from Cotswold. This predates Dr. Komodo by a few years, so just want to clear that up. Second, this is the Grunga Toys dragon figure. I've had some guys reach out and ask me questions about this guy as well. Yeah, it's a max steel body. I do have a video. If you go back through my catalog of videos, there's a video on how I made this guy. Shows you kind of a step-by-step on how to do it. For all you people out there who are just now discovering my channel, you can go back through all my video playlists, and I think it's in the how-to section. But yeah, this is a max steel ultra action body. It's retrofitted with the fists, and it has a neck post for the muscle body figures that I make. And I know I've had some guys reach out to me as well about making neck posts. I do make them. I've sent several to Adam. So I hope to this year. I mean, they're not perfect. They're not going to look like the exact ones that came with the muscle bodies. These are just a replacement, and they work great. You never see them. I think everybody who's got one from me has been happy with it. So I am going to make some of those this year. I don't know if I'll put them on eBay or what, but I just need to buy some new resin. I haven't got around to any of that because the holidays took a lot of my time. So, and lastly, man, all you guys out there who've done your Super Joe figures, super cool. I know Elite Action Joe has done some amazing ones. Adam's done some on G.I. Joe Lost Chronicles, and I've seen some other guys attempting that custom. I'm not sure if I'm the first guy that did that. I think Felipe from Luca Porbenicas might have been at the same time as me, or around the same time, because I made my figure and then I contacted and reached out to Felipe when he was at the G.I. Joe Collector Convention one year, and I bought original jumpsuits from him when he went to the Collector Convention, and I can't remember what year that was. I could look back through my old photos and find out, but I did the original one. I think maybe I had a white-haired G.I. Joe and a red Super Joe suit, and I never changed out the Max Steel hands, and I just can't remember what year it was. So, Felipe, if you're watching this, you might be able to give me some clarification, because I know you did a lot of customs using Max Steel bodies as well. So, I'm not sure which one of us did the first one. There might be somebody out there that did those before us, so who knows. But anyways, I think I was one of the first guys to do that, and I really think it's cool that a lot of people are trying it now. So Max Steel is a great body for the Super Joe jumpsuits. So guys, that's about it. So come back with some final thoughts and wrap this up. Well guys, that's it. That's the final video of 2021. Closing, I really appreciate all the support this year, all the new followers, all the comments. It means a lot to me moving forward. I think I can make this channel pretty awesome. So I'm going to keep pushing ahead. That being said, I want to close with a few words. We'll talk about freedom. I know a lot of you people who watch my channel who don't live here in the United States, you live life a little differently than we do. And that's understandable. Not everybody is the same or comes from the same backgrounds. But as an American citizen, the one thing that I value more than anything is freedom. It's a core value of the American way. I know it seems a little cliche sometimes, and I know a lot of people probably get sick of hearing it. But in this country, we do value our freedom. And I'm bothered by the fact that it seems like every single day our freedoms are being eroded a little bit at a time. And several months ago, I was talking with a friend of mine, and he told me that he was willing to give up some of his freedoms in order to go back to a normal life. And I was upset by those words. They stuck with me for a long time, and they still bother me to this day. Because everyone deserves to be free. And when you give up freedoms, they're very rarely ever given back. And I know not all of us agree on those things, but I think we can all agree that to be free is a basic human right, in my opinion. And I know there's a lot of us that don't agree about politics, social issues, religion, but I really believe that we're all way more alike than what we think. And we're way more alike than we are different. And we should all value freedom and support freedom. And to give up freedom, to me, is silly. And it's troubling. And I was very disappointed in that person when they said that. So I'm going to close with a quote that a friend of mine sent me a while back. And it really has resonated with me lately. It's from a man named Chad Wright. He's a former Navy SEAL and an ultramarathon runner. He posted this quote: "Desire to control the actions of others is the most basic trait of a coward. Concern for the liberty of all is the most basic trait of the fearless. The coward believes his safety hinges upon his control. The fearless knows the coward's control is the most dangerous force humanity faces. The coward hates the fearless. The fearless hates control, but pities the coward." Happy New Year, guys. I hope everybody stays safe out there, and I'll see you in 2022.